So there are some gospel songs I hear stuff like, yeah, and this movement is in 4th degrees. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have this 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's basically going 3 steps forward or back from where your pivot is. Okay, this is how the diminished sevens or work, any diminished chord works. It doesn't actually have a relative major or minor, it's just diminished. Just that it moves in the 3 semitone scenario I explained. Alright, so now let's take a scenario like we have a chord progression and we want to apply what we just learned in terms of the relative major and minor and whatever, diminished positioning. So I take a common key like C major and you add a 1, 4, 5, back to 4 and resolve at 1. Let's see how we can apply the relative major and minor situation with the chords I played. Now in the bar chord position we'll have stuff like, so in the first scenario, this is what I want to do. I want to maintain our 1, then at 4 I'll play the relative minor because every 4 is a major, so obviously it will be a minor, and at 5 I'll play its relative minor too. So our 1 is C major, our 4 is F. The rule, when you're here, count 3 semitones back. 1, 2, 3. So the relative minor of F major will be D minor 7. Because if you listen to the voicing, it's the same notes that you are hearing here. And here too. Just that the root has changed from Fa to Re, but all the triadic notes are the same, just the root notes that have changed. So Fa, 1, 2, 3 is the same voice, and so the relative minor of an F major is D minor. Now when we play the 5, because 5 is also a major, its relative minor will be 1, 2, 3. That would be E minor. So sometimes when we are playing cycle of fifths, like maybe Fa, So, Do, instead of we can replace the Fa with Re. So this is another way you can just make your chord sound very beautiful, especially when you're playing a keyboard too. So you can play on your right hand side, you play a major chord or a 4th, but the bass note will be playing a 2 or a Re, and that will make it sound like a minor 7 voicing. Okay, now when you have a 5 and you play a 3, that is the minor, relative minor of a 5. Now let's change the progression. If you want the song to sound in a minor mode, then that means that we have to let our 1, which is C major, become A minor. So for example, I want to play a progression of 1, 4, 5, 1. In a minor mode it will be 6, then 2 and 3, back to 6. So that's the minor mode of the progression we played in the major mode, that is You have so there are some songs sometimes when you are moving backwards, you feel that it will be better to use a 2 instead of a 4. Where you free you wa my enquire yeda wasia, instead of going to a 4. Where you free you wa my enquire yeda wasia. This sounds beautiful than to go yeda wasia. Okay, so I want to talk about the diminished, how the diminished also works, either being a diminished or a diminished 7 or a half diminished shape. So for example, if I choose a key like G major, that is on the 6th string 3rd fret, G major bar chord, and I want to play a progression like 1, 4, 5. But sometimes this is very common among the spiritual songs or gospel blues. You can hear stuff like so anytime you are using a passing note, for example, maybe do, re, mi, you can use a diminished 7 voicing to link between the 2 to 3. So 1, 2, and so some people find it difficult to play stuff like mo, fi, z, because they don't know that the diminished 7 shape can be used for such accomplishments. So 1, D, re, mi, fa, fi, so, and z. This is how diminished 7 is formed on the 6th string. That is A flat diminished 7. To get to 6, and then T, and then back to Do. I'll take you one more time from C. Okay, so these are the basics to how relative minors and relative majors with diminished 7s also work during progressional plays.